An Ames native was among the very first people to know America was under attack on September 11th.
Tobin Miller was working at the Boston Air Traffic Control Center. The two jets that crashed into the World Trade Center both took off from Boston. KCCI's Andrew Mullenbeck joined us live tonight with Miller's thoughts 20 years later.
Miller says it feels like yesterday. He can list off the flight numbers, not just of the aircraft that were hijacked, but of others that were of concern. And he recalls how air traffic controllers pulled off something that had never been done. Miller worked as a traffic management specialist with the Boston Air Traffic Control Center. It is one of 21 centers the FAA has to control airspace in the U.S. On an otherwise perfect morning, the first sign of trouble was American Flight 11, which had gone Nordo in controller speak. That means no radio communications. The transponder had also been switched off.
We were probably one of the first 3 or 4 people to know on 9/11 that something was just not right.
That plane eventually crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center. 17 minutes later, the South Tower was hit. And shortly after that, an order to land all airplanes flying over the U.S.
They basically told the airplanes, if you're over Charlotte, you're going to Charlotte. If you're over Des Moines, Iowa, you're going to be landing Des Moines. And the airplanes couldn't have anything to say about it.
The mission had never been done before. Land more than 4,000 aircraft as soon as possible. Miller says that's not something even brought up during training.
A controller never looked at an airplane as a weapon. It was a means of transportation. So when you look at it that way, there's no reason to try and think we have to force all these means of transportation to the ground. When they turned into weapons, it was a very easy decision and realization to make that we have to get these airplanes out of the sky.
The unprecedented action took less than an hour without any instruction manual to help pull it off. More than 4,000 planes landed at airports across the country.
We were tasked to get every airplane safely down on the ground and out of the air, and that's what happened.
Miller says he still gets choked up thinking about telling his son that day that he loved him, not knowing what would happen. Steve?
Right, Andrew, thank you very much. Great story. KCCI is commemorating the anniversary of the terrible terror attacks right here tonight at 9 o'clock. Tune in for our primetime special 9/11. Always remember, as we look back at that day through the eyes of Iowans.